folks. Welcome back to episode 11 of the Why Not Us podcast. We are here after week 13 of the NFL. I took a bath.
Yeah, you stink.
Big week for the young man.
Yeah, big flop last week.
I needed that. I had like 3 bad weeks in a row.
Big flop last week. Great week for you two. 21-11. Ron went. George 20-12, and I went 14-18.
You had the worst 1 o'clock slate I think I've ever seen anyone have.
And usually
you were the opposite normally.
It's exact flop. Exact flop. After the 1 o'clock slate, I did well.
Yeah.
You know, I think I went with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 4. And then, you know.
You guys both could have gained one in that Broncos-Browns game if Jameis didn't throw a pick six.
Twice.
Not even that. Not even just a pick six. They drive down the field, granted it was on some penalties, but then they're at the 2-yard line on first down. He throws an interception
I need just do it once. Do it once, and they still cover. If you did it once, and you still cover.
How do you throw 480 yards and lose by 2 scores?
What did he say about pick six in the interview? He's like, God,
praying to God or something.
I'm just praying the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He did not. All he has to do is just not throw an interception twice.
Well, not just an interception.
I really didn't care what happened in the game. I just needed him to cover. And the pick six, that was, brought me down. But I was like, you know what? James having a good game. He has like 440 yards right now. They got time to march down the field, put up even a field goal, because then it makes it a 1-possession game. So maybe an onside kick. They're gonna have the onside kick either way. So I was thinking maybe do a potential field goal.
But even if they didn't score, then they would have just needed out, and they still would have covered.
No.
At that point, it was only.
No, the last interception.
Oh no, you're right.
They needed to score there.
You're right.
I won't lie to you. I didn't watch one snap. I was looking at.
I watched the highlights.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
But when I saw the box score and he had 480 yards,
it's unbelievable.
And he lost by 2 scores. I was like, what the hell happened?
It's the most Jameis Winston game of all time.
Yeah,
we put up a video about how we're like, this game, just when in doubt, pick the over because this game's gonna stink. If they scored 195 points, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyway,
probably was a good game to watch, honestly.
I know.
Probably was.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence to get surgery on his AC joint.
Broncos are for real.
Yes,
I know.
I don't think they can win a Super Bowl, but they're legitimate playoff contenders that can pull an upset, win a game.
Yeah.
And
they're not going to win a Super Bowl.
No, in the playoffs they could be a dangerous team.
I have to admit, I've been sleeping on them. I've been sleeping on them all year long.
Yeah.
I have. I guess I have to accept the fact that they are good.
I think about 3 weeks ago I started to change a little bit.
Well, you said last week that at this point you have to take the Broncos against the Browns, which it's kind of a bullshit cover, but but they won the game.
I'd be interested to see Bo Nick's MVP odds.
MVP
or rookie of the year, because I wouldn't be surprised if he jumped over Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels also had a good game.
He had a good week last week. Yeah.
I actually screwed.
Oh yeah, they were up like 28-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they were going bananas.
On Friday,
Scary Terry, big day.
Yeah.
On Friday, I put after the Raiders game, I sprinkled on Bowers because what Brock Bowers is doing is crazy,
bananas.
And it was plus 1,000.
Was that against the
Chiefs?
Yeah.
I had so many parlays with him and Kelsey that all hit.
That was smart.
Yeah, they were just.
I had Kelsey to score a touchdown.
And Chiefs are bad against the tight ends.
I had one with Kelsey to score a touchdown because he needs one more to pass. Tony Gonzalez. Yeah.
I think I had both of them to have 80+ yards and like 8+ catches in a parlay, and it was like plus 1,000, and it hit.
Jaden Daniels is still minus 270.
What's Bo Nix?
Plus 230. That's
some good value.
They're a better team than Washington.
That's some good value. Do we see a line? What's Washington's record?
I think so.
7-5. What's their record?
I think 7-5.
Are they in line
to make the playoffs?
To not make the playoffs?
Let's see.
The Commanders are.
I was actually thinking about
second in the NFC East.
They have the last wild card spot. Oh no, they should make the wild card because the Bucks are 2 games behind.
They're behind the Eagles.
No, it should honestly the wild card right now will probably stay the same. I feel like.
Well, yeah, who does Washington have? Do they have the Giants again and
they have the Saints this weekend?
Well, the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Falcons,
the Falcons and the Cowboys, which both of those last 2 games could be weird. Like the Falcons and Cowboys game could both.
Even
be
the Saints game can be weird.
And are the Cowboys actually going to start playing decent football? I don't know.
The team behind that is the Bucks, but I feel like the Bucks have a chance to win that division.
Who do the Bucks have left?
The Bucks will win that division, I think. The Falcons have just. Kirk looks bad now. He looks bad.
What was that?
Bucks have the Raiders at home.
Dude,
Just bonehead play after bonehead play.
That ball in the end zone where he threw in the triple, he was like throwing a balloon.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was like he was throwing it away, and it was just a little. It was right there.
It was. Well, I don't know what he was doing there.
Speaking
that was
of
the worst football throw I've seen in a while.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, I will admit, I saw this today. Sam Darnold's last 3 games. 811 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 wins, and no interceptions.
Kid looks good.
It's impressive.
Good stretch.
It's impressive.
He had a little stretch there in the middle
where he's bad.
where he was looking bad.
Where he's
bad,
forcing it to Jefferson.
Not just turnovers, but bad turnovers in the red zone. Bad decisions with the football.
Yeah.
Interceptions are
well,
gonna
that was like
happen.
one game. One game he had really bad throws. But besides that, it was like Aaron Jones has been fumbling in the red zone a lot.
Yeah,
it doesn't help. Well, he also threw 3 interceptions. That was the Jags game, right?
The Jags game was really bad.
The Jags game was
in the red zone. He threw like 3 picks, like in the end zone.
Yeah, that was really bad. But like those stats are mostly in third, fourth quarter, and 1 into overtime. So it's like when the game was on the line, Darnold's been playing. Really
that's impressive.
He has
811 yards, 7
drives.
touchdowns, and 3 wins, and no interceptions. That's impressive.
Doesn't he have 2 game-winning drives in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been unconscious when it comes down to it. It was 4th and 7, game on the line this past week. And he just delivers a dart to Jefferson. Like that's so much pressure on this guy.
Was that like his first catch of the game too?
No, he had 99 yards.
That was a different
2 weeks ago. Yeah, he had 20-something yards.
So yeah, I took a bath last week. Big swap week for George. Standings, and again, we'll reiterate for the folks just tuning in for the first time. End of the season, whoever's up the most units, $1,000. Second place, congratulations. Third place will have some sort of challenge, some sort of fuck you for being in last. So the standings right now, G is up 20 units, I am up 22 units, and Ronnie is up 28 units. So we've been saying it all year. Like so many games, when you're gambling so many games every week, like it could flop just like that, and it did. I mean, I think you made up. What'd you make up? Fucking 16 units last week?
If I was up 8 on
You were up 8 and I was down 4. So
and I was 12
units. Yeah, I got fucked
12 units. You were up 6. Yeah, 12 units.
I also took 2 unders. And I went for 2.
I did not take many unders though.
My 1 o'clock slate was horrendous. I went like fucking 2 and 12. Like,
I had 8 games where I hit both the spread and the over under.
I went that's 5 and fucking 30.
Have you parlayed all 16 of those?
Your 1 o'clock slate was bananas.
Yeah, I went hot.
Yeah, both you guys. You guys both had a very good week. To go up
the
10,
Texans game was fucking ridiculous. How did they not cover that game?
With that said, we all had a couple overs together. We all had a couple spreads together where they missed by half a fucking point. Yeah. There were a few that we were all on the same stuff, so it wouldn't really have made much of a difference. But
there
were some close ones.
Vikings was a half point. Oh, you guys both had the Cardinals in the Vikings game, so you guys both got a half point there.
Yes. Yep. I think the Texans game missed by half a point. The over, I think it ended at 43. We had 43.5.
Yes.
There were a couple others.
There were a few close ones.
Others, but so anyway, so it's anybody's game. We got 5 weeks left? 18. 5 weeks left? 4 weeks left.
That's so
sad. What are we on?
4 weeks left before the playoffs.
17,
so we're gonna call this at the end of the regular season, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll do something else.
Maybe something else.
Ooh, yeah. Do something
like that. So so it's anybody's ball game right now.
Should we do a playoff bracket? Each one of us?
You can.
I don't hate that idea.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I can't believe the season's almost over.
I know.
Regular season, college football regular season is already over.
Yep.
It's
and
just
fantasy's about to wrap
wait
up
for
here.
football.
Yep. I know.
For months on end.
It goes so fast.
And it comes. I feel like we were just talking about week 0. It comes or in college football week 0. Florida State was just playing Georgia Tech in Dublin.
Yeah.
And then now we're in December.
Yep.
And we're playing December football now.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
And then, it is.
Speaking of college football, we'll talk about 4 of the big championship games this week, starting with Big 12, Iowa State, and Arizona State. Arizona State is giving 2.5 points.
Talk about, first of all, mayhem last week in rivalry weekends.
Yeah, it was.
Absolute mayhem. Phenomenal week in college football. One of the best weeks of college football I've ever watched. 8 overtime game, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, what the fuck was
insane.
That, dude?
But
it was 8
overtimes. But yeah, so
what's the record?
Whose? Georgia's?
For most overtime.
8.
Wasn't the Penn State games crazy a couple of years ago?
Yeah, the LSU was in a crazy one too. I think that one was 6, but that was when the overtime rules were also different.
You're right.
Right.
That's true.
That's I don't know why they ever changed it.
2021 Illinois Penn State had 9 overtimes.
Ooh,
nine.
Yeah, that was it.
And
That
then
might have been the new overtime.
But here's what's crazy is that the Georgia Tech and Georgia game last week ended 44-42. The 9 overtime game, Illinois won 20-18.
Yeah, it was low scoring.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
Think about how much bitching the fucking NFL guys would do if they had to play 8 overtimes.
Well, it's just one play. It's like a 2-point conversion.
That's true.
I guess that's fair, but
Which
still.
I hate. That's like shooting free throws to win a basketball game. It's like penalty kicks in soccer.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Put the ball at the 25 each go around, and just play a game from the 25-yard line. Give people, if you want to change rules, then give them 4 downs from the 25. And just give them 4 downs of play. If they can score, great. If not, kick a field goal. I don't like the whole 2-point conversion each overtime.
Yeah, it's too close.
I'm not, it's normal. It's the 25-yard line in the first overtime.
Right.
Then 25-yard line again in the second overtime. But you have to go for 2. And then after that, then it's just 2-point conversion.
That's
third
cool.
overtime.
I still like that more than the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now when it goes to third overtime, though, I hate that.
Yeah.
Just give them at the 25-yard line and just make them go for 2 then.
That's true.
At the end of the drive. But yeah, so anyway, Robert Regan was crazy. 4 big conference championships this week in the Power 4 at least. There's still another big one as well, but we'll stick to the Power 4. Arizona State, Iowa State. Talk about Cinderella story from Arizona State. They were the longest odds to win the Big 12 this year at the start of the year.
Is that right?
Do you imagine that?
Wow.
Yeah, they were the longest odds. So they win, they're in. And they're coming out of nowhere, so, really good for them. They have a new head coach. I forget his name, but he has absolutely turned that program around in 1 year. And I think they win that game. They're laying 2.5, you said?
They're giving 2.5, yep.
So, yeah, I think they win, and I think they cover, and I think they're in the playoffs.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Next big one is the SEC, Texas and Georgia.
Yeah, that's gonna be
also
good.
2.5-point spread. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So this is the second time they're playing this year.
For folks on the West Coast.
National show.
Yes.
Second time they're playing this year. This should be a good one. It's crazy. You could potentially set this up for that they play 3 times this year. Both these teams are in the playoffs, I think. Obviously, the winner is going to get the bye. Georgia's weird. Texas hasn't. It's funny. Both these teams haven't had quite strong of a schedule. Well, Texas hasn't had quite strong of a schedule, but Georgia has lost in some big games. So this will be interesting. Good test for Texas. Good test for Georgia. Both are in, win or lose. They just obviously want to see that bye week. I think Texas wins this game. But what's the spread in this game?
2.5 again. Texas is giving
2.5.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Carson Beck's been very inconsistent.
Are these all neutral games? Neutral set?
No. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
These conference championships, yes. Yeah. Carson Beck has been weird this year. He's had some bad games where he's turned the ball over 3 times, and those are the games you lose. So Georgia goes how Carson Beck goes. Their defense has kind of been exposed this year. So it's not the defense of old. So I think Texas probably wins this game, but if Carson Beck takes care of the ball and, plays a above average game, it should be a close one.
Next is the one I'm probably most excited about, which also could probably be the biggest gap game in terms of total, who wins what, is Oregon and Penn State. That spread is 3.5. Penn State's getting the 3.5. I'm most excited for this game, but I haven't watched a lot of Oregon, but from what I hear, Oregon is out of control.
Yeah, there's a lot of parity this year in college football, thankfully. There's no real dominant team like there has been in the past. Georgia's just been the best team. Alabama.
Which is good. I like that.
Oregon's the only undefeated team left, but they're beatable. Obviously, they're the best team in college football, but they are beatable. This is obviously most interesting for me as a Notre Dame fan, too, because right now, as it sits, Penn State's 5, Notre Dame is 6 in the playoff rankings. Penn State loses this game. Is the committee going to drop them below Notre Dame, slide Notre Dame up to 5, which is the best seed to be in the college football playoffs?
Yep.
And Penn State slides to 6, or
besides 1 through 4, obviously.
I don't know about
you
that.
Want to buy. You always want to buy.
Absolutely, absolutely. But listen to the path of the 5 seed. The 5 seed will have the 12 seed. They'll play the 12 seed in the first round, which would be, let's say, Arizona State. You win that game, then you play the 4 seed, which will probably be Boise State.
Really?
But Georgia, let's say Oregon has the bye. I think
You always want to buy. Anything can happen.
absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about it. You want to buy. But imagine Arizona State coming up to South Bend, Indiana, in the middle of
but it's
December.
the playoff. You never know what's going to happen, dude.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to
But
happen.
they need to rework these
NIU,
playoffs.
you know?
They need to
NIU.
rework these playoffs, though. They do. You can't give buys to Boise State. You can't give buys to teams like Arizona State.
No, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
They do. That's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Right.
So just rank the teams. Your top 4, get a bye.
That
That's
makes
it.
so much more sense. I get trying to draw the attention to the conference championships, which is cool.
They're
but-
irrelevant now,
yeah.
though. It's just like the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl. But last
Yeah.
year in the playoffs game, those games mean nothing.
Yeah,
Players
that's
sit
true.
out of them.
That's
Your starting quarterback sits out. Your starter wide receiver, your running backs. If you're not competing for a national championship, you're sitting out. These conference championships don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
So they need to rework the system.
The ACC championship is SMU and Clemson. SMU is 2.5-point favorites.
Big playoff implications here because SMU wins, they're in. Clemson has to
Is
win.
there a chance they're not in? SMU?
Well, that's the thing. So, yes, Clemson wins. Clemson is automatically in because they're a conference winner. I think SMU is still in, so that slides Alabama out of the playoffs.
Ooh,
so that's why it's big playoff
juicy.
implications. So Alabama this weekend is going to be big SMU fans.
Yeah.
So that is going to be another interesting game to watch. SMU, a lot of people sleeping on SMU. New to the ACC, first year in the ACC. They're going to come out, and I think they win it. Tate
Okay.
Klubnik has not had the year that he's had in the past, so plus I just don't like Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate
Yeah,
it.
you do hate Clemson.
So I think SMU wins this game, but in a tight one. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, though.
All these games are going to be fun because, if they're all only 2.5-point spreads, 3.5 points is the biggest. They should be fun games.
Like, the,
you know?
the crazy thing is, Clemson lost last week, and they slid into the conference championship because Miami lost to Syracuse.
Right.
So Clemson lost and moved up the rank in the ACC because that was a non-conference game. They lost to South Carolina. So they lost to South Carolina, but because Miami lost to Syracuse in the ACC, they moved up a rank.
So crazy.
And now they're in the conference championship against
Yeah, that's
SMU.
stupid.
Miami really stepped on it.
So yeah, it's a fun weekend in college football. So George could go on for 4 or 5 days if we kept going about
Yeah,
this.
probably about that.
But we'll move on. We are going to give you a Thursday night football episode. We're going to get together again this week, and we're going to give you the Sunday picks. But for now, we're definitely going to give you the Packers and Lions pick on Thursday night football, which should be a fun one. And we'll give you a little same game action as well. So with that said, Thursday night football, week 14 of the NFL.
Yep.
Lions are at home against the Packers. The Lions are giving 3.5. Over-under's 51.5. We'll start with you, George.
This is going to be a fun game. I mean, I haven't looked at the slate too much this week, but this might be the game of the week.
It's going to be fun.
I don't know who's the Monday game. Monday is Bengals-Cowboys. That game stinks.
Yeah,
No,
And
this
then
is the
Chiefs
best.
Chargers.
one.
This is the game of the week on a Thursday.
it's a game fun.
What a sweet treat.
Chargers Chiefs.
So, I love the over in this game. I think this game's going to be a shootout.
It's high.
It is high.
Wow.
I think both. I mean, this game ends 30-27.
Wow.
I mean, the over hits by a lot of points. So
I like the over as well.
Last time they played, it was 24-14. Lions won.
in Green Bay.
In Green Bay.
Green Bay.
When though?
A few weeks ago.
November.
Wasn't that cold?
3rd.
Wasn't that cold?
It's going to be just
That means
fucking
we're
cold
due
as
for the
Detroit.
over, baby.
I think we are. I think Detroit's going to be pissed off.
So
They almost blew that game. Wish they did.
they should have.
Yeah, but
If
the
you have a
Packers-
I was
I don't
sitting
even
at
wanna
the Thanksgiving dinner table. I was going, timeout.
What are they doing?
What are we doing?
I was just close to the TV. I was like, what are they doing? What are you doing?
I've never seen a monumental collapse at the coaching position like
Just
ever.
incompetent.
That was the worst
Bad.
clock management I've ever seen.
Bad.
That probably the worst I've ever seen.
How does he even get How does he even get home?
How does
did
he
they not
make
get-
it-
If
to
he
the locker
completes
room?
that pass, the game is over. What the
Right,
fuck were you
right,
thinking?
right,
I have no idea. And there was another thing too where the plan was to snap the ball with 10 seconds left, this and that. Okay, fine. But if you don't get the snap off, then call a timeout.
Right.
He had 30 seconds.
So bad, dude.
Yeah, like 31, 32 seconds. So yeah, I do like the over here. I just think, like you said, the Lions are going to be pissed. I think they cover the 3.5, so I'll take Detroit minus 3.5. I think they probably score a late touchdown to make it two possession game, and And yeah, I just think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a little back and forth. Packers are a good team. Jordan Love is slowly figuring it out. He has some bad turnovers at
bonehead
times.
plays.
He
Yeah,
does have
stupid
some bad
stuff.
plays, but
It's like stuff you don't need to be doing.
He's starting to figure out a little bit these last couple weeks.
So Lions and over?
But I like the Lions and I like the over.
What do you like, Ron?
I think I'm gonna go with the same exact picks. I like the over because I think it'll get kind of crazy. I think Detroit's gonna want to score. I wanted to take Green Bay, but I think Detroit's mad. I hope that they lose this game. I hope the
As
Packers.
a Vikings fan.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Is it a win-win or a lose-lose for the Vikings?
You don't like the Packers
Fair.
either.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Packers
separate?
The Packers are on our ass.
Do you want to separate yourself more from the Packers?
No, fuck that. I'm not thinking about what's
Or-
below me. I'm thinking about what's in front of me.
Do you
You know, I want the Lions to lose and us have
What
a
a
chance
winner's
there.
mentality.
Yeah,
Look at
I
you
want,
go.
What if
Look at you
if
go.
they lose one game? You know, Vikings have not a crazy stretch right now, and then we play Detroit the last week of the season. Like if we are the Tide and we can have everything on the line the last week, that's sick.
Would it be a three-way tie if Packers beat the Lions?
No. Well, they're 9 and
Just like
they're 9 and
record-wise in the conference.
No, they would still. The Lions would still be ahead a game on the Packers. If the Vikings beat Atlanta, then it would be Vikings and Lions tied and Packers.
Because the Packers would go to
One
10-3. The Vikings, if they win, who do the Vikings have this week?
They have Atlanta. I hope he beat the shit out of Kirk Cousins.
That might be a weird game. Every fucking game
At
with
Atlanta?
the Vikings. Are
No, it's in
weird.
Minnesota.
What's the ovation
Minnesota.
when he comes Minnesota? Eh?
Are they booing or
Are they going
cheering?
or cheering him?
They'll cheer him.
Minnesota's too nice.
I think
Yeah,
they'll absolutely
that's part of it. Also,
They didn't leave on bad terms.
Nah.
It wasn't great terms. They wanted him back, I think, and then he took more money there. They were still giving him an opportunity to come
Yeah, but
back.
how much were they giving him?
Enough.
to party.
How much?
I mean, in his case, like, he was still going to get a large salary as a quarterback. They gave him a lot of money in Atlanta. They weren't going to match that. But, like, in his case, it's like, you go to Atlanta, now look at you.
Is that
You're
before
shitting
or
the
after
bed.
they drafted McCarthy?
It was before.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The rookie quarterback controversy with Kirk Cousins was Michael Penix.
Oh, yeah, Penix.
Speaking of Penix, real quick off topic.
Penix.
We start hearing whispers, starting Michael Penix potentially.
If they lose again here, yeah. And I think that maybe not
Think
this
so?
season, but I already read that they're going to try and move him next year if this season continues to just be bad.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to pick up that contract?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Somebody.
the Jets will.
Somebody.
The
Yeah.
Jets will.
The Jets. will.
Yeah, he offset
Jets will
it. He paid,
Jets will.
He almost went to the Jets a few years ago.
Atlanta will pay some of the contract. It always works.
They'll work something out. Yeah.
So what do you like the Lions and over?
I'll go with the Lions and over. I think. I like them at home here, unfortunately.
So
I'll be rooting against them, but
I'm definitely taking the Lions minus 3.5. I think I like that a lot at home. Coming off a weird, like we were talking about before we started, we were like is Detroit gonna kind of slump a little bit? But I think their slump was beating the Bears in a bad way.
they didn't look
they
good.
still won, and
Yeah.
I think that was their slump.
I don't know what happened. The first half, they were firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
They looked like the Lions.
It's weird. It's a
and
weird
then the
day.
second half, like what happened?
And that's unlike them too,
I know.
to let off the gas like that.
They definitely
So
didn't let off the gas. They
couldn't do anything.
They got figured out.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything.
I mean, Caleb had a good game.
Yeah, he looked alright until the end of the game.
Until the end of the game.
I
Yeah.
think they changed their defensive scheme though in the second half, where he had open guys underneath. Like when you're up to what were they up 25 points at halftime or something like that?
Was it that many? I don't know.
16-0, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh yeah, you're right because they were stopped in the red zone a lot.
Yeah.
They should have been up like 28-0.
Yeah, because all my touchdown parlays had the running backs in there. They couldn't score.
Bears defense really buckled down in the red zone, and then they buckled down in the second half too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions minus 3.5. I think they win this game by a touchdown or more. I was all over the under, and I am not an under guy. You guys may have convinced me, but I don't think you did.
Sucker.
51.5 is a lot of points. I mean,
It is a lot.
I don't know if it turns like these games between like the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers.
Oh
like,
my.
these games always get a little weird, man. Like
Well, we were saying last week, you always expect, like, I don't know, like we look at NFC teams for some reason, and we always expect these big high-scoring games. Like the Cardinals, Vikings, we expected this massive shootout, which it ended up going over, but it was really,
Yeah.
there was all
crap.
field goals for most of that game.
This season, every time the Lions step on the field, I'm expecting them to score 30 points.
Yeah.
I agree,
I'm
but
expecting
the games that they've gone over 51.5 are only far and few few between, and it's because they put up 52 points. And I don't think
the Packers are a better team than
right. I don't think they're putting up 50 points tomorrow. No way.
Well,
maybe
not the Lions. No, I think they're going to put
It's
up
going to
30,
be like 28-24. They're going to cover by half.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be like a 27-21 kind of game, maybe 24-17, 24-21. I don't know. I think it's going to be a weird game, so I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with the under 51.5. Also, I need to make up some distance between you and I now. So now is the time of the year. Now is the time of the year when we have to start to kind of take that into
fair.
into the mind too. So
it's not fair that you went last then if that's how you're going to play.
I was going to go with the under.
You know what? I want the under.
I knew you were going to.
Can't change it. I already made my pick. So that's our picks. We're going to give you a same game parlay for this one. We hit ours last week.
Yes.
Yes. What was it, like 2.5 to 1?
Something like that.
Something like that.
That was a good one.
So we're going to give you a same game parlay for the Lions and the Packers. We already have some 3 legs. We're going to add at least one more. Hopefully just one more. But I know once I get you fucking clowns going, next thing you know, we'll have a 40-leg parlay.
Ron likes to put in 8-leg parlays that are plus 110.
So far we have...
No, I had, you guys always want to do 4 legs. I had the 5th, and you're like, that's too many legs.
No, you're going to say that to me?
It's an extra leg.
It's him.
It's an extra leg. It is me. And I'm against touchdown scores in the same.
I just like to
parlays
lower.
you take on your own are hilarious. When you take 5 or 6 minus 600 things.
Oh, with the props? Yeah.
That
I put those together.
Plus 100.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I put them together a little bit here.
What? That's what we're doing now.
No, I know. It's just so hard to hit all 6. I'd rather put like 2 legs in at like plus 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's whatever. It all ends up being the same.
So far we have
odds-wise.
We have St. Brown 50 plus
injuries,
receiving. St. Brown 50 plus receiving, Gibbs 50 plus rushing, and Jacobs 40 plus rushing.
Repeat that? I was not paying attention.
Oh my god.
We have St. Brown 50 plus receiving, Gibbs 50 plus rushing, and Jacobs 40 plus rushing.
We looked it up. Gibbs has hit that every single time except week 1.
Okay.
So that's plus 130. That's plus 130. So we're gonna want a little bit more juice on there.
Gibbs surprisingly not a lot of receiving like in a lot of games. Some games he has a lot. Some games he has like 0.
I feel like I'm always watching him catch a dump.
He has 2 games with 0. He has like 3 games with 1 catch. So it's not worth
It's so
touching.
weird. I feel like I watch him catch 5 balls a game.
So we're at plus 130.
Do we sprinkle in a little Jameson Williams?
I'm okay with putting 25 yards in there.
He's getting
a target.
He's getting more looks.
I'm okay with Jameson Williams. I said it earlier. I don't hate that.
It's okay.
I'd be okay with 40 plus. What?
I know, it would be smart, but...
Well, let's see what it does. So,
just adding the 25 right there puts us at plus 200. I would literally end it right there.
What's 40 plus?
Plus 275. He would need, the thing is, he could get that 1 catch, but I'd rather...
He's becoming less boomer bust, though. He's becoming... He's an actual receiver now.
That's true.
What is he getting? 6 targets a game or something?
He's gotten 40...
7, 6, 5 the last 4 games.
And I think they're.
Of the last 4 games, he's gone.
No, he's like a target now.
Yeah,
if he doesn't throw the ball at somebody on the fucking side of the line, then he's getting more throws.
Or gets suspended.
Yeah,
but between now and tomorrow night.
Although, did you see? Someone had a zoomed in. You know the play I'm talking about where he threw the ball at the guy's face. Mm-hmm. The guy put his foot out and tripped him on the sideline, so he was pissed. So it wasn't like he just did it out of nowhere.
I didn't realize this. He's only had under 40 in 2 games or 3 games this year. One of which he had -4 yards against the Vikings.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I didn't realize last week he had 28. Besides that, only 2 other games he's been under 40.
He's getting more looks.
He is. Last game was weird, so I would do the 40. Do we want the extra 70? From plus 200
There's
to plus
also a 25% boost on FanDuel.
I don't have that. Mine's live bets.
It is a live bet. I lied. I didn't read it. Something will pop up for tomorrow.
Sound it out. I'm okay with doing the plus 200. If you want to go crazy,
I'd rather do the 25 plus and get it 2 to 1.
Okay, that's fine.
Deal.
I like it. I like it a lot.
As long as we cross that 200, I'm fine.
Me too. I like 2 to 1. So that means for the Thursday night football same game parlay between the Lions and the Packers, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown 50 plus receiving. We have Jahmyr Gibbs 50 plus rushing. Josh Jacobs 40 plus rushing, and Jameson Williams 25 plus receiving. It is plus 202, just about exactly 2 to 1.
Sounds like a winner to me.
I'm going to take it right now.
I love that.
I love it a lot. So thank you for tuning in. This is a quick, short episode. We're giving you a little bit of college football talk. We gave you our Thursday night picks. We're going to tune back in this week before Sunday, and we will go over our NFL Week 14 picks for Sunday and next Monday Night Football.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
Beautiful.
Placed.
Peace out, folks.